What's up YouTube, this is Boy G back with another video. Today is a little bit different. We're going to unbox this Kinetic Underseat Subwoofer. So as you can see, interesting yung box niya, no? Nissan breadsticks, right? So that is the box. So I'm just gonna destroy this right now. And if you're following the channel or if you watch some of my previous video, you might have noticed that I actually upgraded the speakers, right, of my car, of my Mirage G4 into JBL, right? Oops, JBL stage 2 604, and then JBL stage 2 634. Now those are pretty good, as a matter of fact, especially with the head unit na meron na ako, no? Okay siya sa head unit, but of course a little bit of more bass wouldn't hurt, right? So now we're going to unbox this Kinetic really quick. So I'm going to unbox this. I'll just inspect, the ports and the looks, and then of course I'm going to install this and show you how will I install it, how to install it. I'm not in any way expert, by the way, but I'll just like to share you the process, of course, to help someone out there. So PWM, MOSFET power supply, RCA input, high level input, so that's good. It has a low level and high level input. Remote control for subwoofer level, I think that's the potentiometer, right? The adjustable remote there. Phase switch, 0 or 180, typical for subwoofer. Adjustable input sensitivity, bass boost, subsonic filter, low frequency filter there, right? And power at 180 RMS, matter of fact, at 2 ohms, 550 watts max. Auto power on off, soft delayed remote turn on, protection circuit, slim woofer. So it says there 10 inches. I'm kind of interested to see if it's real. We're actually going to measure that, right? I would like to see if that is a real 10 inch. Okay, so things that we have, I'm gonna open in the box. We have some bracket that we can put on the feet of this subwoofer. There's 3 or 4 of them, right? So we can like mount it if you want, screw it on the floor of your underseat on your car. We have, let me see, what's this? Kung ikaw ay may katanungan tungkol sa babasahing ito, tumawag at mag-text. Right, nice one. Maligayang pagdating sa... What is this? Maligayang pagdating sa langit? Okay, alright. So we do have this kind of like RG11, right? Like an old telephone, right? Analog. But yeah, you do have that. And then this is the control, right? Remote control. You can just adjust the bass there. Pretty cool. That's the one that you're gonna connect the RG11 for, or 2. And of course, we also have the manual here, Kinetic. As far as I know, this subwoofer, it's kind of like the same, OEM coming from China, and a lot of manufacturers just putting names on it, right? I think China works that way. Some factory, right, manufacturing plants just create like hardware or materials for companies to, brand, right? I think they work like that. Okay, so you do have a very short cable here for the ground. So as you can see, it's pretty thick, right? That's good. And then you also have the yellow cord for the remote control. And then you also have power cable here, which is, I think it's thick enough, although the insulation itself is the thin one, right? So the cable is pretty good. It looks like it will hold the power, but the insulation is pretty slim for a power connection, right? Especially for a subwoofer. Although it's not really as powerful, it's just again 150 RMS, but it can go 550 watts at 100 watts says, right? So might as well use a dedicated power cable, as a matter of fact. Now this has a fuse already. I believe this is like a 20 amp fuse, right? So it has a fuse already to protect the cable that you're gonna put on the battery. You're gonna plug this directly to your source, right to your battery, and then the other one is just, of course, in the back of it. But I would recommend purchasing a separate power cable, a dedicated one. I actually purchased a dedicated, amplifier set, right, which include the same set of cables, RCA and whatnot. And I think the power cable of that is much better. I'll show you that later on. But yeah, this is the RCA cable. It's also extremely thin, but this RCA, but it's not of quality. I mean, Chase, if you check that out, that is actually pretty bad. I even have my own RCA cable here that are of higher quality, and this one is it's pretty bad. I don't recommend using this. Yeah. All right. So what else? I'm seeing here some bonus material, which is the dome light for your car. Just some bonus. And this is the actual subwoofer. So let me check that out right now. Okay. Very heavy. I don't think this is a 10-inch, but again, it's advertised as 10-inch. Maybe the length of it is exactly 10-inch, but again, we're probably gonna measure that in a bit. By the way, if you're not subscriber yet, consider subscribing, mga katoto, right? It will help the channel grow. And I unboxed more than, I don't remember, maybe more than 300 gadgets already or something. I got a lot of videos on the channel, total of 470 as of this moment. So you might actually benefit, and it might help you in your purchase decision. So feel free to subscribe, right? Thanks so much in advance. This is an aluminum, I think, a painted aluminum, quite heavy, but it's kind of like a big heat sink, right? The entire material, the entire body of it is actually made out of cast aluminum. So very, very nice. Very easy to scratch though, so be careful on that one. But yeah, the feet goes there, as you can see, and the actual driver is here. Now let me just get my tape measure here, and let's measure if this is actually 10-inch or not. So from here to here, it's about 23 centimeters. So about 10-inch, 9-inch, right? 10-inch is 24 centimeter, and this is around 23 only. So I guess it's just rounded off to 10-inch, right? But at least it's 9 inches, not 6 or smaller. But let's go ahead and check the actual ports here. Now, right from the top there, by the way, you see the Kinetic logo, and that is the actual driver. Notice that. And on the back, so from left to right, you do have your power button here, power LED. Protect, I believe this lights first, and then it's gonna go to power. You do have your face button there, right? If you can set it up to 0 or 80. Again, what it does is especially this is actually the kind of like the polarity of a subwoofer, right? It's kind of like inverting it so that the movement of the driver will be timed differently, right? So for example, it's moving like this, right? On the exact same second, where if you set it on 180, there will be like a little bit of seconds first before it moves that way. So if your speaker, for example, if you're, the bunch of your speaker, the rest of your speaker, front and rear speakers are moving this way, you would want them to, to not to cancel, right? Airflow. You would want them to actually move in the same direction and same time so that they don't cancel out each other, right? Now, basically for usage, you just have to like feel it, right? By default, it's 0. So when you're playing and you're not really hearing a lot of bass, right? Or you kind of like feel that the bass is lacking, just put it on 180 and feel for that. If that is better, then good for you. You can just select that. Now, right from the bottom of that is auto power on, right? I'm kind of wondering what is this, because I believe you have to connect this on the remote terminal here. You have to connect that to your head unit, as a matter of fact, so that whenever you turn on your car, your head unit, it'll also turn on. So I don't know, maybe if you're not using it, right? Even though it's turned on, your car is turned on, and you're not using the actual music, right? You're not playing any music, you're not sending signal to the subwoofer, this one will not auto power on, right? I believe that only works on RCA, and it doesn't work on like a high level input like a speaker like this. It doesn't have that detection. So you also have, of course, low pass filter, right? These are your knobs. So on the bottom, or it can go as low as 50 hertz, right? Up to 150 hertz. So that's your LPF. You do have bass boost. If you want some bass boost, you can select that up to plus 12 decibels. Just gonna put that on the bottom there. For the low pass filter, I'm just gonna put it around the mid, right? I like it around 80, 70. Again, it depends on your listening experience, your preference. Remote control, this is where the RJ11 goes, or the remote control cable. Again, high level input. So this is for if you don't have an RCA on your car, right? For example, you're using a stock head unit, you haven't replaced that yet, a stock radio, and it doesn't have any RCA. You can actually tap this to the actual speakers, right? So positive, negative, just put that on your speakers. I would, of course, recommend the the low level input, the RCA, if you have if you already replaced your head unit, which I, by the way, recommend doing first, right? Because replacing your head unit will actually improve the sound already of your dedicated or stock, right, default sound system, especially if you sound treated your car, right? For example, mine is Marriage G4, had a sound deadening, and it improves drastically as if I already replaced it with a better one, even though they're still using stock speakers, right? So that's the very first thing that you need to do actually to upgrade in your car if you're into audio. Upgrade the head unit first, because it will also allow you to use other stuff, right? Like Waze and all, Android. And then after that, at least you now have sub out, a dedicated subwoofer out, where you can actually connect one, because subwoofer is mono, right? It's not really stereo. And then you can just connect either both of this or just one of those. That will work, right? Because on subwoofer, you don't need to connect both, right? It's a mono, right? Mono signal. So as long as it's connected to a sub out, then it's gonna be good. Now, if you're tapping it on a left and right channel though, of a normal speaker, for example, you haven't replaced your head unit yet, so you don't have a dedicated sub out, and you just tap it to the speaker, you have to connect both of them so you can get both the signals on the left and right, because some audios, some music specifically are, sometimes playing on a specific channel only, right? On the left only, on the right side, they're just kind of playing it. And if you plug it on one only, you will miss the details on those, side ones. Again, if you're plugging in to a left and right channel and not to a sub out. Here you do have the fuse, and then finally you have the connection here, power, which will be screwed here. So you're just gonna have to plug in the wire here and then tighten them here. Ground, the one that goes from the ground, or you have to connect this anywhere in your car, right? On a square in your car chassis, right, on the body. And then remote, again, that goes to the remote control, and then 12-volt positive direct current, that's the one that you're gonna plug to your battery directly, right, with fuse and all. So let me go ahead and install this right now, and I'm gonna show you how it's done. I'll be right back. All right, so this is what I actually purchased earlier, right? So again, it's the amplifier installation kit, right, with fuse already. So yeah, just a thicker insulation for the power, right, which is preferable. And then this one you're gonna use to cover your power cable under the hood to protect it to the heat. And then you're gonna need some tools like this, right? Just the heat and the shrinker. Let's go ahead and install it. So the red one is the one that I purchased, and this is the included one, yellow one. So as you can see, the cables are pretty much the same, at least for the wire itself, but the insulation of this is just a little bit thicker, right, compared to the stock one. So better insulation, and looks good as well for positive 12 volts hot wire. That's the one we're gonna install, and this is the RCA. That's the one we're gonna install as well. A little bit of higher quality than the other one, and yeah. All right, first thing we're gonna do is connect this again to the positive, and then connect it to the fuse. The other side going outside here, and going inside that, so I can just route it inside. Let's go ahead and do this right now. All right, so we got it connected now. Again, that's the fuse included on the amplifier set, wiring set. Very easy, just need to cut the wire first and then screw them here. Well, I put this shrink rubber. Sorry for the noise, by the way. So we can just like ensure that it's just sealed there at least, right? So, all right, that's what we want. So one done. We'll just have to complete this one. This is the last one that I'm going to connect, right? Again, it's just a simple screw there. Don't forget to unplug or remove your negative first whenever you're doing anything in your car. So after I install everything, I'll just tap it here if I'm ready to power already so we can test it. Right now, the next step is, again, I will just shrink this and then put this cable inside of that, and then I will run it there, going to the passenger seat next, so we can run it towards the under seat for the actual subwoofer. So I'm gonna do that right now. I'll be right back. All right, now that I already put this in and insert it on that one, I put some excess cables there just in case you're gonna troubleshoot in the future, right? It's always ideal to put, a lot of leeways. So just in case you're gonna cut and splice, you have a lot to work with, right? You're not gonna run out of cable. And of course, you have to make sure that you're gonna put this kind of protection, right? This one on this cable, so that it's gonna be protected on heat and bruises and things like that, damages. Okay, so we managed to get the red power line now, again, from outside, running underneath here, and then on the back of the head unit, and it's now going out here, right? So papadaanan lang natin yan sa ilalim dyan. You're gonna hide it underneath and connect it. Make sure you always put the protection cover, right? The corrugated cover for it. Now this is the head unit as well. This is an Android already. I will show you in a bit. But you have a couple of connections there. We're looking for the sub out. I think that's the one. It says subwoofer. So we're just going to connect one RCA cable there. Put it on the right input of the sub. And then we also are looking for the blue wire. It says amp con, right? That's the controller or the remote for amp. So we're going to connect the blue cable there that was included, this one, run it underneath again, underneath the glue box, underneath the carpet, and then connect it there. So I'm going to wire this all, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, so I connected the amp control. I put something like this, right? So I can just plug and play them just in case I'm going to troubleshoot or do something. So you can see that. Yeah, it's those kind of connectors, right? You can buy this in Lazada. Very, very cheap. So I have that. But yeah, let me go ahead and connect it and connect the sub as well, finish it up. So I'm just running the cable now. Again, it's coming out of the glue box. I'm going to hide it on this side panel here where this cover came from. I just remove the cover and we're going to hide that, run the cable here along with the other cables. I believe there's already a cable there. And then exactly here, I'm going to insert it here, run towards the other side of the end, and that's how it's going to connect to the sub. Again, we're going to have to protect it with one conduit so it's not going to be messy like this. Sumasakit na yung likod ko. Pero ito na siya, guys. I'm combining them all. So again, the power is already inside, as you can see, red. And then this is the RCA, and this is the remote, right? So we're just gonna run it here, hide it underneath, and then along with this one, zip tie there, run it underneath, and then install into the sub. Sub is already there, as you can see. It's just facing the other side. We're going to connect all of the connection and do some testing. Fits perfect on this right passenger next to the driver's seat. And I don't even need to put any Velcro or any mounting mechanism on it because it's being held by this mat of mine. It's kind of pushing it there. And of course, there's like a wall already on the other side. So it's sandwiched there. It's squeezed. And I don't need to Velcro that. But just in case, you can also put Velcro underneath, like 3M sticky Velcro so that it will stick onto the carpet. But that's how I'm going to do it. Now, connections are on the back here. I'm going to hide it so it's not really readily exposed to the door. And then I'm just going to run the wire there, put it underneath the carpet, run it inside the car there. So that's the cable running underneath and going outside, as you can see, on the carpet there. And the only thing left is plug all of those into the sub so we can go ahead and do some testing. I just have to cover this and we're done. Let me finish it up. All right, installation complete. That's the ground, as you can see. I just put it on the chair mount there, chair screw. Make sure to scrape a little bit to make sure that it has a good contact for the ground. And again, it's just running underneath. And those are the cablings. And yeah, it's just fitting perfectly. Let me go ahead and adjust this chair now and let's do some testing. So last thing is connecting the positive. I now connected it there. This is pretty tight, so I cannot connect it here. I just connect it there. It's the same anyway. And let's put the negative here. That's the last bit. Let's connect the negative back so we can test it out. Hold up. Let's turn on. Let me just turn this thing off. Test it out a bit. Let's connect this back now and do some testing. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if what we did is working or if it's gonna explode the car. Okay, car is starting. Please. That's a good sign, right? This is the first time we're turning on the car. So what you're hearing right now actually is just that speaker, or at least let me show you. All right, so basically that is the subwoofer, right, that we have. So if we turn this off, that subwoofer turns off. So see, you're not hearing anything anymore. And to distinguish that, actually, I turned off the bass on all of this speaker. As you can see, I increased the range to 250 only, so it's not sending low frequency on my 4 speakers on the door, but the subwoofer is still doing its job, right? So that's the time that we can actually test the subwoofer that's working. So again, if we go back on that one, look at that. See that? It's very discreet, as a matter of fact, but it's really good. It's a clean bass. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's not mind-blowing, but it's pretty good. This is just that bass. See? If we turn off the frequency, if we make it full, pretty good, right? Now if we add the bass to the other speakers as well, let's check. It's actually amazing. Right now you have to have some kind of like an amp to really push it, right? In my case, I do have this head unit here, and it offers tons of feature. Right now, since remember I connected it to the subwoofer output, it's basically controlled by this, right? Subwoofer, you can even enhance it, but this will also deliver or enhance the bass on this speaker. I don't want that. I just want the bass or the subwoofer to do the bass alone. So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn it off first, right? Or actually turn it on, right? Maximum. And then for the bass filter, we're going to turn it off essentially, right? So we're not going to deliver any bass on the normal speaker, on my JBL normal speaker. We're just going to send higher tones, right, or higher frequency, 250 and above, so that the bass will just play all of the remaining frequency. Check it out. So I'm going to play. I hope I'm not gonna copyright. I made that skip. without the Kinetic, this is how it sounds. So hope you're hearing that. This is all of them. So typically you're just gonna put 80. Amazing, amazing. All right, that's pretty much it. Takeaway, right? Some of my thoughts. This Kinetic subwoofer, RMS 180 watts, right? 10-inch subwoofer, 180 watts RMS. This is actually amazing. What I can say is it's perfect for people like me who doesn't really want like super loud bass. You know, I'm actually annoyed on those kind of like people who, especially jeepneys, right? Here in Philippines, you probably heard patok, right? Mga jeep na sobrang lakas. It's very loud and already distorted, and it's just annoying, right? It's not fun to listen to. It's just annoying. Now this one is just perfect because it's very, very clean. And what it did for me, I'm now even having fun, right? Enjoying listening on music. Even I actually turn off the entire lower frequency, even the mid-range on my normal speakers, because the Kinetic alone is really playing a very, very clean sound, as you heard, right? Now normally for the crossover, this is the crossover essentially. So if you're gonna like select 80 here, that means you're sending 80 and above, right? 80 and above hertz to your normal speakers. These 4 speakers right here that we also upgraded into JBL. I also have a video for that. So if you're interested, I'm going to link that in the description so you can check how to change and whatnot. I already have acoustic, sound panels, right? Or acoustic, what do you call that? From I forgot the name, acoustic pad, right? I already have acoustic pad installed to my doors and my overall car. But this is just amazing, guys. It's just really amazing. I love it. Perfect for people like me that wanted bass but doesn't want to disturb others. But that's all for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. And that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, guys. See you on the next one. Peace.